Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. I'm sorry this is a day late. I was gonna do the video yesterday and I don't know what happened. I just went poof. My body said, okay, you're done. I slept a good part of the day yesterday, afternoon and evening. I woke up this morning and I'm feeling like, ugh. I just got that cold, I guess. My sinuses and everything are really messing with me. So, I'm sorry if I sound a little congested or nasally. That's why. I'm sorry for the appearance. Today, I really don't have anything specific to talk about. I said from the beginning on my very first video that I was going to be real on here, and I was going to be real where I stood on things. Excuse me. And this video is definitely real. Um, I'm, as y'all know, anybody who's been following me, I'm a year and a month out of a very abusive marriage. I'm 6 months out, almost, in a couple of days. It'll be 6 months since I'm officially divorced. And now things are hitting me bam, bam. I've dealt with a lot of stuff, and so this stuff is not catching me out of nowhere, but it's bringing other memories to light that's really making things difficult. Um, I think I described in my last video or the video before how my brain is just so knotted up that I feel like I got this white noise in the back of my head. And it's hard for me to concentrate. Um, Work was kind of suffering. Um, I was able to separate that stuff from work enough to get my work done. But if anybody knows me, they know that I like to do things well and to the best of my ability. And it has been lacking, though my job is very much safe right now. So I'm good. Um, but I had decided that I'm going to take a month off work. I'm My job offers short-term disability at 60% pay, and I have a little bit of cushion in the bank. Thank you, God. So I figure now is a good time to take it while I have that cushion to offset the 40% loss and take this month to get my head straight to what I want to get done. Um, because I can barely focus on anything. Y'all, this is so hard for me because I try to portray that I'm all put together and that everything's going right. When And then I get days like this and it's not. It doesn't help that I'm not feeling well, so of course I don't feel well and I get all up in my feels. But it's rough. As I've said before, healing is not for the faint of heart. It is hard work. It's so worth it in the end. Oh my goodness, just the healing that has happened even just this far has been wonderful. Um, I feel freer because, I mean, I'm not living in fight or flight mode. Y'all, when I say that I lived in fight or flight mode for 15 solid years, that's not an exaggeration. In fact, it's probably an underestimation. But as near as I can remember, 15 solid years of fight or flight. And oh my goodness, when you live that long in fight or flight mode, and then you go to where you don't have to be, you don't know how to relax. And that's part of my issue is on one hand, I don't know how to relax. I constantly want to do something. But then on the same token, because I don't have to do something, I don't, because it feels so doggone good to not do something, to not have to do something, to be able to do it on my terms and not his. And so it feels good that if I just want to sit and watch TV, I can watch TV. Or if I just want to veg out on my phone and play those stupid little addicting games, I can do that. And so my brain is trying to rewire itself, and in the process, it's all kinds of messed up. But that's why I'm taking this month off. So I can rest, focus on what's the main issues, and be able to take care of them immediately and not have to wait for work or push them down so I can work, you know. And so it's definitely going to be a time of renewal and refreshing for my brain. Um, I can't talk about it right now, but there's some things in the works that I might be doing. Um, Higher education type stuff. Not going to college, though, I not ruling that out down the road, but some education stuff to do other things helping other people who've gone through trauma as well. Like I said, I can't talk about it too much right now until it's in the works, but just be sending your prayers with that because it looks pretty hopeful, and I think that's part of the problem with what's going on with me is, don't get me wrong, I love where I work. The company itself is great. Um, I have never felt uncared about. I've never felt uh, I don't know, used. I don't know. I'm trying to think, and my brain is in a fog. But I do feel like, for the most part, I am cared about. I mean, that we all are, all who work for this company. And the pay is pretty decent. I've been blessed with that. Um, Customer service itself has its ups and downs, which anybody who works in customer service knows what I'm talking about. You keep the job because you love working with people, but you want to get a different job because you're tired of working with people. It gets old. Some days it gets old. I could write an entire book about some of the things I've endured when I used to work fast food and now this. But the company as a whole is good. And it's just it's not fulfilling. I mean, because y'all, God wired me to help others. And I've always had a servant's heart. That's God. That's not me for sure, because I'm selfish. Um, but God gave me a servant's heart, and He wired me to help others. And that's what I want to do. I want to use all of this crap that I've endured throughout the majority of my life and turn some good into it. As I did a couple of videos back about turning evil into good. I want to take all of that and turn it into something positive. And I think that's what's also affecting me mentally. But a big part is now that I'm a year out, I gotta be careful how I say this, but there's some things going on in the background that kind of expected and I was preparing for it, but the fact that it still happened, kind of like you prepare for the worst, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Well, that's kind of what I was doing. Ultimately, though I was preparing, I didn't expect things to happen like they were. And so now this is bringing up all kinds of other stuff that, oh my goodness, are messing with my brain. And quite frankly, y'all, it's trying to revert me. It all of this is trying to get me back to where I was, and it's a fight. Well, I'm a fighter. I'm a Class A lioness. Nobody's gonna mess with me. I have come this far through fighting. I'm gonna continue. And no, y'all, I'm safe. Everything's okay. It's just there are a lot of things in the background that are going on that I can't discuss. But I've gotten through them. God's gotten me through them. And He's going to get me through this. And I'm going to get through those memories. And I'm going to get through the trauma and the feelings and straighten out my brain and get my brain to where it's thinking clearly. Which, my brain, that's going to take a lot. But I'm being real like this because I want those of you who are healing from trauma to know that you're gonna have bad times. There are gonna be some great times. Hold on to those great times because you will get bad times because the road is not smoothly paved. It is bumpy. There are potholes and there are hills. It's up and down. Some days you feel like you're riding on a roller coaster. And y'all, I don't like roller coasters. Yeah, I know. Don't at me because I don't like roller coasters. But so it makes it even more difficult. But it's all worth it in the end. If going through what I've gone through this past year alone with dealing with all of this trauma and the effects of the abuse, not only from my ex, but my father and a couple of other people. Um, Not only going through that, but dealing, and all of this COVID is wrapped around it. So it's been a heck of a ride. But I'm on the other side now. And I'm on the outside looking in now and saying, look how far I've come. And it's a tough road. And there's a tough road ahead too. I I know that without a doubt. My therapist warned me of that. And that's fine. Hey, I got it in me to fight it. If I can fight it, you can fight it. You can get through this. It's tough. There are some days where if I didn't have work to get up for, I'd have stayed in bed all day. And there are yet other days that, even in spite of having work to get up for, it was a fight to get up. And what got me up was knowing I had to stay good for my babies. Yeah, my adult babies, but they're still my babies. And I had to stay good for my babies because they need their mama and their mama needs them. So, and how can I expect them to push through what they're going through if I don't? And so there are days when I'm like, okay, I'm doing this for my babies. God, get me through this. I need it. I need you to do. And God always comes through. And that's why I'm being real. Because if you read books or something, or you see movies, want to portray it as all rainbows and roses. Rainbows come when there's a ton of rain. And then roses always have thorns. So there's gonna be it's not gonna be a smooth ride. But it's worth it when you can say that you rose above the damage that your abuser did to you. Y'all, I went yesterday to grab a bite to eat at a place that I worked at several years back, and I still keep in touch with some of them. And they all saw me, and one lady didn't know that I had divorced. And she's like, "You're divorced?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And another one that knew my story, she's like, "Oh, yeah, doesn't she look much better now?" And the other lady that originally didn't know, she's like, "Yeah, you do look so much better. You got it all going on." I don't know about that. I mean, she caught me in a good day. I just got back from the hairdresser. I had makeup on, so yeah. But everybody that I have talked to sees the change, how more relaxed I am, how much younger I look. Um, and it's because I don't have the stress. So, and my church family has even said that they can tell the difference in my attitude and how I worship God. And I can definitely see that. And so all this pain that I've gone through this past year, to hear others say that they can see the change in me. And I'm not talking about looks. I'm talking about the attitude, the mentality, the mental state. All of that has changed. And it's so worth it. Because I could look at my abuser, well, figuratively, got a protection order so he can't contact me. But I could look towards him and say, you wanted to break me down. You wanted to completely pull the rug under from me, break both of my legs to where I had no choice but to be with you. Instead, I got stronger. I picked myself up, cleaned myself off, and I started the road to recovery. And you can do that too. Like I said, it is not easy. I'm going through a time right now that's tough, to where I got to take a month off of work so I can get my brain straight. But I'm taking care of me. And that's what you need to do. Do what you need to do. If you can't take off work, I'm blessed where I can. But if you can't take off work, do whatever you can when you're not at work. Leave work at work. Don't think about anything work related. The moment you clock out and you walk out that door, you think about you. Go take a drive. Go take a long walk. Dance in the middle of your living room floor to goofy 80s music, if that's what it takes to help you. And allow yourself to cry. That is a big thing with me because I hate crying. I've cried so much in my life that I hate crying now. But when I let myself cry, I do so much better. I feel better. Even if all I cry is 5 minutes, it does such tremendous help to my mental state, my emotional state, because it gets all of that out. Because all that stress is also toxic. It manifests itself in your body as all kinds of other things. I'm doing a lot of research on this and I'm finding that out. Oh my goodness, the other day, in fact, Thursday, I had an appointment with my chiropractor and I go to see him once a week. Oh my goodness, y'all. I told him my shoulder was really tight and I was having issues with it. So he put his hands on my shoulders and was feeling around. He's like, oh my goodness, you were tight as anything. And so he took his instruments or whatever and did what he did. And finally started being able to move around. And I was so tight I couldn't even pop it. He had to push and adjust and finally get it able to pop. And he's like, what did you do? I'm like, nothing. He's like, you are under a lot of stress, aren't you? Like, yeah. I had already made the decision that I was going to take a month off work the day before. But if I was kind of hesitant before, that solidified my decision. Because all of that stress was affecting my body. And my chiropractor was talking about a while back how it can affect every part of your body, your joints, your bones. It can give you ailments that you would not necessarily be predisposed to. So take care of yourself. Do what you need to do to de-stress. A big thing for me is I'll get in my van, I'll blast the music up loud, some really good worship music. I have a playlist on my music app. I'll play that over the Bluetooth, crank it up as loud as my ears can handle, and I'm singing while driving down the street to one of my favorite parks. Y'all, that does so much to just help me decompress because all I'm doing is I'm focusing on the driving and I'm focusing on um, the music. So I'm not focusing on other things. And the way my brain works is if I'm trying to think something through and it's been really tough, I stop thinking about it. I put it out of my mind, I think of something else, and then after my brain is relaxed, it comes to me. And so in the times that I go take a drive, blast my music up loud, and just worship God, whatever's going on is released. It's not locked up with a tensed up brain. It's released, and I'm able to think things through. So I just wanted to really touch base with y'all since I promise a video every week and let you know that healing is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's hard work, but dude, it's so worth it. Y'all have a good week. Stay blessed. As always, like and share these videos. Share,